Hello everybody, I'm back with another update. We're now at the end of April. Today's April 26th, and I've been doing updates on my no buy / low buy year. And as you know, we've all been things have really changed. A lot of us are, I don't know, we're either in quarantine, some people self-isolation, some people shelter in place, whatever the term is where you are living, everything's changed. And so I've noticed a lot of the people who are doing the no buy year, their year has really gone by the wayside. Their whole budgeting plan has gone by the wayside. And I do want to say, I feel like I've had a win in that the only things I've really been buying are necessary items. Mostly food, lots of food. I've been buying a lot of meat. I don't know if you guys are hearing this. I have no idea if this is true. I know some plants, not all plants. Unfortunately, some food processing, packaging, whatever plants have had to shut down over some COVID cases. And so I don't know, some of them, I see articles that say these have shut down indefinitely. Typically what they do with the plants is shut things down. There's my cat in the background. You see him? He's in the drawer. We got 2 drawers that they lay in. They're very weird. Anyway, typically what we see with plants, at least something like Amazon, if they get a case or 2, they shut things down, they clean, and they open back up. So I'm a little confused why a pork processing plant would just shut down indefinitely, but I'm seeing articles like that. So I'm not saying that to panic anybody about run out buy meat. I'm only mentioning it because I keep seeing it. So you might just buy a little extra meat. If you're like me and you're a meat eater, if you're a vegetarian vegan, you're good. You don't have to worry about that. It's something that concerns me because we do eat a lot of meat. I have lots of ground beef on hand, and so I have been buying that. When I see the ground beef that I want, which if you've watched me for a while, about a year and 4 months ago, actually, I started on the, hello, Jasper. I started on the, sorry about that. I started on the organic, non-GMO, grass-fed kind of lifestyle for health purposes, not because I'm trying to make any sort of statement, environmental kind of statement, nothing like that, although that's fine. If you're into that, that's fine. For me, it has simply been health only. I started learning about the GMO foods. I'd heard about the GMO for a long time, and what I didn't understand was when they grow these genetically engineered crops, what happens is they can spray the glyphosate, which is Roundup. They can spray the glyphosate all over those crops. I'm gonna have to put this cat out. I'm just gonna let you know I'm gonna be running to put him out in just a second. He's about to get in my lap. But they spray those crops, and the genetically modified crops do not die. So they spray everything with those poisons, the toxins. That has now been proven to be a carcinogen. The glyphosate is causing people to have, is it non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? It's one of those lymphomas. They are doing court cases now. There are many. If you think I'm crazy, you can look it up. I would use something besides Google, but you can look it up. There's many. I heard something like 1,800 cases pending about the glyphosate, about the Roundup. And this is even people who have gone into their own yards and and sprayed the glyphosate. Sorry. I knew when I started he was laying so nicely in the drawer and he wasn't causing a problem, and I was just going to let him sit there. And the minute I start talking, here he comes. Okay, so anyway, there are many cases pending, even people who have for years gone out into their yards and sprayed the Roundup, because what happened was it absorbed into their skin. It wasn't that they were eating the grass. As they were spraying it, it was absorbing into their skin. And honestly, my husband does use Roundup on some things. We've known for years it was an issue. We've heard about Roundup for years. We're just now kind of realizing how bad it is now that we have so many cancer cases that are linked to it. Okay, so all that to say that I'm not making an environmental statement at all by doing this sort of diet now. It's all health related, because what I have heard is that you could heal your gut issues, which I've had many of over the years, just by eliminating some of these, the GMO type of thing, and eating organic and this kind of stuff. So it's not, I'm not doing some new age thing. It's not some hocus pocus. Strictly doing it for health purposes. I also heard that people had healed up autoimmune diseases. Now, right now, if we think about all this, the people who are having issues with COVID-19 are people with autoimmune. By the way, I have some autoimmune. I don't talk about this on my Facebook page. It's just not something I discuss. It's more of a personal thing for me, but I have autoimmune disease. So according to everything, I should just be terrified because we have this virus. Well, here's the thing. There's hundreds of thousands of viruses around us all the time. You have viruses and bacteria clinging to you all the time. Okay, that's a fact. You can listen to doctors who will explain this to you. You probably don't know. There's also thousands of strains of flu virus, not just one strain. You know, we hear flu strain A, flu strain B, and we hear that, you know, well, the flu shot wasn't that strain or whatever. It's never going to be the strain. It's never going to 100% be the strain because there's thousands of strains of flu, okay? So you can get that if it makes you feel better, but there's some research, quite a lot of research actually, showing that you are more prone to other respiratory infections if you get the flu vaccine. So I'm not here to bash a vaccine or tell you not to get. I'm just telling you there are things that you can look into for your own health. I'm going to go over one more time. I've done this several times, but in case you've missed it, you've never seen a video, I'm going to go over one more time what we're doing here. I have listened while we've been off work. Now Spencer's working still, and I'm still working some, but while we've had some time off, I've been studying and studying and studying what to do to stay safe. And a lot of these things I do during flu season, so I haven't changed a lot, and I'll tell you what I've changed. Okay, the first thing, flu season, I do this all the time. And flu season is about 7 months of the year. It's they say it's October to April, and actually you can get flu any time of the year. It just happens to be less prevalent in the summer. So October it's starting to cool off, April is starting to warm up, so you can kind of see. And we're kind of hoping that this COVID thing goes away with summer heat. That would be great, wouldn't it? Or at least calms down so we can all get back to work. Okay, so very important, ascorbic acid or any, it doesn't have to be this, but any sort of vitamin C. Vitamin C, very, very important. There's a man named Dr. Sauls, S-A-U-L-S. He is on YouTube. I watched a very good, probably about an hour-long interview with him talking about vitamin C. They're actually treating people, this is one of these things you don't hear in the news. They're actually treating people with IV vitamin C, and it's working. They treated them in China with it. I believe they used it in South Korea, and they are using it at some places here. You know, they may not use it where you're living. So if you were to get it, you could, you know, try asking for it, especially if you're having the breathing problems. They find as, you know, as you go to the hospital having the breathing problems, that this works, and it works in about a dose. They'll start you like at a dose of 6,000 milligrams, which isn't that much higher. I mean, if you take enough of this, you'll have, you know, 3, 4, or 5,000 milligrams. Very tiny amount of this. This is powder. I listened to this guy talking about, I actually drink this all day in my water. I just put a little scoop into my water, and I have my water all day, and it was kind of, it didn't, I'm not doing it because somebody told me to do that. I actually, it's just easier for me. I just have my water and I drink it. Dr. Sauls, that vitamin C expert, and this guy is well known in natural circles. If you listen to natural stuff, you'll know who I'm talking about. But Dr. Sauls even mentioned it's best to keep your levels up during the day. So if you're taking the pills, that's fine, the capsules or however it comes, but take it 3 times a day. Don't take like 3 pills at breakfast and then no more. Space it out. So if you want to take 3,000 milligrams, that's fine. It's not going to hurt you. You will be urinating it out. And that's the thing. He was talking about because it's water soluble, you will urinate it out during the day. And if you're me, I'm in the bathroom quite a bit, especially drinking this water. If you've ever seen me, I have this huge, huge tumbler with my water in it. So I drink quite a bit of water. But this keeps your levels up all day. So if you're just taking it in the morning as you're, you know, going through your day and using the bathroom, you're eliminating it. So let's try to keep our levels up all day long, not just 3 pills in the morning or 1 pill in the morning and I'm done. Let's keep it up. If you can remember 3 times a day. Now look, if you can't remember it, take it once and that's fine. But I do highly recommend this powder. This is micro ingredients. I've had this bag forever. I think I paid $20 for this. The price has gone up. Last time I saw on Amazon, they did have it. A couple weeks ago, they still had it, but it was $30 instead of $20. But I'm telling you, I've had this bag for like 3 years. It says it's expired, and I'm still using it. And you can see I've got this much powder. And it's a zip-up bag. So I don't get excited about expiration dates. If you do, then throw it out and get another one. But I've had it for 3 years, and it just expired late 2019, I think. Okay, another thing I've done for years is D3. This is 5,000 IU. D3, 5,000 IU. This is very, very, very important. One of the reasons they believe that the flu incidence goes down in the summer is because we're outdoors more. Now, some of us aren't. And some of us don't absorb sunshine well. I do not. I absorb this extremely well. I don't go out and absorb sunshine well. And if you are lathering, if you go to the dermatologist and they tell you to use SPF whatever, if you're lathering that on all day, that is blocking the vitamin D that comes from the sun. So if you're doing that because you're worried about skin cancer, and I know many of you are, I've talked to some of you about it, then you definitely need to be on this because you're not getting any sunshine. If you've got it all over your face and it's all in your makeup, I've noticed I've started using a different moisturizer and a different, I'm using an Organic Physicians Formula, I think, foundation. So my makeup doesn't have it in it anymore. I'm getting away from the SPF. It actually, a lot of that sunscreen has lots and lots of chemicals in it. And my husband has said for years, I believe that's causing cancer. And I'm starting to agree with him. I'm actually hearing stuff that it has carcinogens in it. So it is, just balancing everything. I'm not saying throw it out. I'm just saying think about it. Maybe don't use it all the time. But anyway, back to D3, very important. This fights the flu. So this really, if it's going to fight the flu, it will fight any virus. So this is very important, and most of us are deficient if we go to the doctor and get tested. If you go and ask your doctor to test you for vitamin D, you will find out, if you've never taken this, most likely you are deficient. Deficient is under 30, and I don't know how it's the 30, I don't know what it is, but 30 to 100 is normal, and then when you get outside of 100, they say that's toxic. Mine was sky high. I've had to back off this. I'm only taking it like once a week now because it was so high. Anyway, I don't think it was going to kill me, but they do call it toxic. But anyway, that's just the way it is. If you're not toxic at 100, how are you suddenly toxic at 110? Now, mine had gone way past that. I never worried if it was around 100. It never bothered me. But after they told me how high it was, I was like, yeah, I think I will. I'll back off just a tad. And so I have. So I don't take it every day, but I did. When mine was low, I definitely, for years I've taken it every day. Spencer takes it every day. Okay, now things that I have added. Spencer was already taking this. Zinc caps. This is 50. Some people say 50 is a little high. His doctor told him to take 50. I'm taking 50. If you're concerned that 50 is too high, then it goes anywhere from 20 to 50. Now, right now, people have freaked out about zinc, and they're getting it off the shelves. You may have a little trouble finding it. This was a brand that we had for him, and I bought him some extra so I could take it. And then I noticed somebody told me it was disappearing off Amazon. So I found a cheap brand on Walmart, and I'm taking the cheap brand because he is actually supposed to be taking this, and it was not, my doctor didn't tell me to take it. So he's taking the cheap brand. I'm taking the cheap brand. He's taking the real brand. Okay, so another thing I've added is cod liver oil because of the vitamin A. It also has D in it, but because of the vitamin A. I've read so much about how important vitamin A is for your immune system. So this is all stuff I've gleaned from watching many, many doctors, traditional doctors, more natural type doctors, ICU doctors, or even recommending some of these things. So I've just sort of, everything I've read and listened to, I've just packed it all into one, and this is what we do. Now, if you have any sort of respiratory or lung problem, I would look into taking NAC. It's very good for people with lung issues and respiratory issues. I bought this. You see it's unopened. I guess you can see it's unopened. I bought this in case we got sick because we don't have asthma. We don't have respiratory issues. So I I'm not that concerned about us. But if we did get sick, I'm more concerned about it then. Now, I did listen to a guy talking about taking this and how really you need to take it and go ahead and get it into your system. So I would say if you are at all prone in any form or fashion, if you have asthma, if you have emphysema, if you've ever had pneumonia, if you, like Spencer and I are not prone to that at all. If you, just any sort of breathing issue at all, I'm COPD, anything I'm not thinking of but you have, I would take this every day, and it's 600 milligrams. This says 880. I've heard 600 milligrams is what you want to take, and it might have been twice a day. So anyway, you could definitely do 880 once a day. It's not going to hurt you. All right, though, that's my regimen, and that's from everything that I've listened to and gleaned information. Another thing people talk about is selenium, and I've heard of that forever, and I have not started taking that. I've also seen people talk about magnesium. I've taken that before. We're not taking it right now. We're mostly just sticking with these things right now. This is pretty simple. It's just 4 things. And then if you need the NAC that I just mentioned, if you've got, or if you already have a chronic lung problem or something that flares up once a year, I would take this every day. I wouldn't wait till you're sick. With us, we just don't have it. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not that concerned about it. And I'll tell you why, because we've taken this D3 for so many years. This fights viruses more than any of this. Vitamin C, especially once you get sick, it will fight a virus. So really, if you're limited on your funds right now, maybe you're out of work and you just don't have a lot of funds. These are the 2, and this is the cheap Walmart brand. In fact, both of these and the Zinc that I bought myself, these are really cheap brands. They're not the best quality, but they work. I get tested and it works, okay? So I hadn't been too serious about getting something better quality just because it's working. Okay, so back to the no buy year. Really, because I've only just been buying essentials. I did stock up on things for the pets. We have, I don't know if you may not know this, we have 9, I think we feed 9 cats. I think that's right. We have 6 inside, 2 outside that belong to us, 1 that comes here and eats, and then occasionally we'll feed an extra one. So we have cats with bladder issues, and so I was concerned. I heard somebody that in the New York State, not New York City, but New York State area mentioned to me that some of the pet foods were disappearing. And this was a few weeks ago. And I said to myself, that may come here too. We live in Memphis area. And I had talked to other people who were having trouble finding litter. So I got on Walmart.com. I bought us a bunch of litter. So we're like way ahead on the cat litter. 6 indoor cats. We need a lot. We don't just, it's a lot of litter that we need. And I got on Amazon and bought quite a bit of their bladder food because they're on a special. It's IM's bladder food, and then they're on a special canned food I get from the vet. So anyway, I did spend money on that kind of stuff. But as far as anything else and getting off course on the no buy, I really haven't gotten off course. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. It's been going pretty well. I started all this because I had, if you missed those episodes, I had cut down on my work schedule. And now that all this has happened, I'm kind of sorry I cut down on my work schedule because I've been kind of like, oh my gosh, since I'm not going to church anymore, it's kind of like I don't have that much to do. And I'm not worried about being out in public. So I know other people are, and that's fine if you are. That is up to you. You know what your specific issues are. So I'm not making fun of anybody who prefers to stay home. I just don't prefer to stay home. I prefer to go do something. So, with everything shut down, we can't do anything really. But I could go to work because I am essential. So anyway, that's kind of how that all came about. I wanted to take some time off work. I was having a lot of knee problems, arthritis problems. The knee problem has gotten fixed. The arthritis is much better. And it's probably still best for me because of the arthritis just to work about 1 day a week, 1 or 2. I wouldn't mind working 1 more day a week. But anyway, it is what it is right now. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope if you have a budget that you're sticking to it. I hope you're still employed. I know many, many people are suffering right now, have lost their jobs, furloughed or whatever. Praying for all of you. Hope everybody is well and healthy. And if you're not, try some of these things and see if you can start feeling better. Thanks a lot. See you guys later. Bye-bye.